Good morning, everyone. This is Dave Wirth, the meteorologist in charge out here at the National Weather Service in Blacksburg, Virginia. It's currently a little after 9 a.m. on Thursday, September 29th. This YouTube briefing will review the threat for severe weather and perhaps even some flash flooding for later today into tonight, and then briefly mention the threat of what will become Hurricane Matthew for the middle of next week. So looking right now at the composite radar map, we can see that most of the shower and thunderstorm activity that brought some very prolific heavy rains and severe weather to the area yesterday has moved closer to the coast, although we see this big spin in the atmosphere to the west over the Ohio Valley, and this area will gradually continue to move east as the day progresses. We can see another area of forcing and showers, perhaps some thunderstorms, redeveloping over portions of West Virginia, and this will move east into the Blacksburg area as the day progresses and as temperatures rise. The big question will be, can we get our temperatures high enough to allow these storms to percolate to the strength that they were yesterday and produce severe weather? It is a little bit problematic, though, because if we look at the satellite picture right now, we can see that the region has covered with low clouds, and this is going to hold at bay, at least for a while, the sun. And if we don't get much sun, we're not going to get much atmospheric instability. The model projections do show, though, that there will be a gradual erosion of some of this cloud cover, allowing at least some areas to get some sunshine as the afternoon progresses, and that may be just enough to allow the atmosphere to become unstable to result in at least some isolated to widely scattered severe storms. The primary threat again today would be mainly from strong straight-line winds and hail that could produce some spotty power outages. There is a very, very low risk that there may be enough spin in the atmosphere for an isolated tornado, but that is not something that we're currently expecting. So, taking a look at the Storm Predictions Center's outlook for the area right now, we are in a marginal risk that covers almost the entire area that is served by the Blacksburg forecast area, but this has not yet been upgraded to a slight or a moderate risk and is probably unlikely to have that happen. So again, a very marginal risk, but one that we felt was warranting at least some mention in the YouTube briefing that you're listening to right now. I do want to call attention to our homepage. That's weather.gov/RNK, Romeo November Kilo. It'd be good to bookmark that if you haven't already. We do have an area that is under a flash flood watch. That would basically be from around the Danville area north up toward Rockbridge County, Amherst County, and points to the east, just simply because these areas have received a lot of rain in the past couple of days, with more rain expected as this next band of precipitation in the west moves east across the area. This is the Weather Prediction Center's outlook. This is a 2-day outlook for the total amount of precipitation that is expected. And the bullseye is mainly over the extreme northern part of Virginia, so it is displaced away from our area. But we're in this very tight gradient area from where there will be generally very low amounts, if any, precipitation across the extreme southwestern flanks, ramping up to perhaps 1 to 2 inches in areas where we had the flash flood watch in effect, with, again, the ground zero areas being farther to the north up toward the nation's capital. So we are watching it. That's why we have a watch up. We certainly don't have a warning up yet, and we will monitor this very carefully as the day progresses and adjust the headlines as needed. So, let me also talk very briefly about what will become Hurricane Matthew. Undoubtedly, everyone has got an eye on this storm. It continues to move west. This is the modeling that shows a very tight cluster of where this is expected to move. It's currently a tropical storm, likely to become a hurricane by the end of the day, and expected to turn north up toward the eastern seaboard. But notice the clustering is very tight and mainly offshore. There is no model currently that we consider reliable that is moving this inland. Therefore, we are not expecting any direct or even an indirect influence by what will become Hurricane Matthew as it moves up along the east coast during the middle part of next week. The main impact will be the coastal areas where there may be some wind and some peripheral rains, especially out of the outer banks of North Carolina. But right now, at least for Virginia and areas south, no significant threat expected from this system. We just wanted to mention that because undoubtedly there's going to be a lot of talk about it and some speculation. So we figured you want to hear that from us first. Anyway, be prepared for at least a little bit of volatile weather as today progresses. If you see a lot of sun, that means the atmosphere is going to get warm, it will get unstable, and most likely you'll end up with some strong to severe thunderstorms. If you don't see much sun today, at least in your area, that means that the atmosphere will not have become as unstable as it might otherwise have, and therefore whatever precipitation you get will be lighter and certainly not severe. So just to give you some information to help you with whatever planning that you need to make for later today into tonight. Again, thank you for listening. This is Dave Wirt from the National Weather Service in Blacksburg.